I'm Sham and I'm back with a brand new trek. I am here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Came here from Atlanta, Georgia early this morning. But here's the crazy thing is I did not intend to be here. And this is where I want to be open and honest with everybody. My journey, which I've been documenting for years now, is not intended to make me look good. It's intended to show a genuine path. I'm going to show my mistakes. And I know at times it's going to seem absolutely dumb. But I want people to reflect upon that and kind of turn it upside down and say that this is the reality. And I always love to reference Stobe the Hobo, rest in peace, Wingman. And they were talking about how a lot of the times you're going to mess up. And it's just the nature of the game, right? There are so many trains, so many routes. At times, two of the same come at the same time, and you're just trying to kind of figure things out. Anyways, so Atlanta, the yard there was extremely difficult to figure out. The comparison for me is yard just northwest of Fort Worth, Texas, which was absolutely hell. But thankfully, I did figure it out. This time around, when you don't listen, when you're not able to listen in on your radio, my radio was busted. But truthfully, I think it was more out of range from the dispatcher tower. So what you have to do at that point is due diligence in terms of where are the containers originating from. So you see containers, I want to go to Jacksonville. A container that is talking and referencing Florida makes sense, right? So a train pulls up and I'm near the front because that's just what I am able to take. It's not ideal. You want to be near like the last fourth, last third of the train, and that way you're far enough from the back to avoid any sort of detection. Like I said, I couldn't be picky. I just had to get on. So I get on, and thankfully I get a DPU, but again, this is not encouraged. This is absolutely not the best strategy, but I was on one of the units. So there was like 3 or 4 units in the front pulling the train, and the very first one is a lead unit, which is sending signals and leading the rest of them. And you don't want to be that close because when the train stops and you're getting off, it's very easy to view you. Now, these trains are about 1.5 miles long on average. So since you're in the back and the train stops in the yard that you want to get off at, you're scot-free. Much easier for you to go undetected. But you have to take what you get. Anyways, I get on and we're headed in towards this junction. Now, if the train goes one way, pretty confident it's going to go to Jacksonville, Florida. If it goes the other way, then you're kind of screwed because it's going to start heading northeast. Guess what? Started heading northeast, and at that point, I was like, gotta go with the flow. What I should have done was hold off and seen where the lead unit was going, and then if it was going in the right direction that I wanted, jump on the fly. Been there, done that. I don't recommend it. It is not the best scenario, and there is a certain danger associated with it. Anyways, so once I figured out that I was not going to be going in the right direction, I just relaxed. Stoicism is the fact that you are not going to be anxious or overthink stuff that is happening in the moment, but you're going to go with the flow. And then once things get to a certain point where you have a direction and you have a decision to make, you're going to be able to do that and be comfortable with the outcome. So we go to Greenville, South Carolina. We stop. I'm laying down, trying to sleep, and then I randomly wake up. There was nothing prompting me. Who knows, maybe there was a sixth sense. But all of a sudden, I see a light shining through the back door of the DPU I was in, one of the units. Look up, and there's a worker. So I open the door, and it's like halfway open, and the worker there is like, is everything okay? Are you gonna like do anything crazy? And I reassured him, no, everything is okay. I'm completely sane. I've done this a lot. Trust me. So he enters the locomotive, and we're face to face, and thankfully everything was comfortable. I think after a few seconds he realizes I was level-headed, and I wasn't going to pull any crazy tricks. So I asked him, have you ever experienced any other train hoppers? And he said yes. But unfortunately, there's a lot of heavy drug users, people who have untreated mental illness, things of that nature, and they gave him trouble, and they were kind of a liability. So thankfully, again, I'm not better than anybody, but I do think staying professional and having manners and keeping more of a quote-unquote clean lifestyle does lend itself to authority figures, so to speak, allowing you to get away with certain stuff. So we chatted for about 15 minutes, shared life stories. We really connected. And he's like, hey, I'm going to tie down the train. There's going to be another crew in a half hour. If you want, you can stay to the side. Once they inspect the train, they get it untied. You can jump back in. But in my mind, I'm thinking, nah, I'm fine. I don't want to push my luck. I told him, thank you. Really appreciate everything. So I went back and I rode intermodal well car as I have in the past. Now I'm sitting there on the well car just kind of playing around my phone, and all of a sudden on my side I see this headlamp come up into the car, and the guy is almost like purposely trying to avoid me, trying not to notice me. But I know he saw me. To soften things up, you should be respectful and outgoing and say, hey, what's up? So I told him, how are you doing? He's like, good. I told him just kind of to reassure, because I talked to the first conductor. You going to Charlotte? Yes, I'm going to Charlotte. Perfect. So at the very least, I know Charlotte's a hub, and from there I can choose my options. Now, we take off a short while later, get into Charlotte, and there's a couple of yards. Now, I'm thinking it's 50-50. If we go into the yard in the city, perfect. That's nice. I am in a place where I can maneuver comfortably. But if we go to another yard, the intermodal yard near the airport, that's on the edge of the city, it's going to be difficult. Guess what? I got screwed. We went into the intermodal yard, and but thankfully it was at like just before sunset. There was fog. Walked out. I'll show you guys the video, kind of intersplice things. And I was walking for about 2 hours, finally found an exit and walked into town. But the cool thing was that as I was leaving, I see this like safety jacket in the brush off to the side, about like 30 minutes into the walk. It's a Norfolk Southern safety vest. Perfect. Pick it up, and that's a picture some of you guys may have seen. Pretty useful, pretty cool. We'll see what it does, but I think it's a nice souvenir. Anyways, it is what it is. And at this point, I'm just chilling in Charlotte, trying to figure out the best, way to go. And these are all new routes. So even though I made a mistake, quote unquote, I still saw something new. And at the end of the day, it's just a journey. It's indefinite. As long as I'm doing what I love, which I am doing right now, that's all that matters.